Good evening, everyone. Uh, so tonight I'll be going live with someone, and we'll be touching based on the concept identity, and yes, how you can just unleash that power within you. So I'm still waiting for the guy. We'll be going live together. It's going to be an interactive session between him and I. He'll be not the guest, but it'll be more of a conversation. His name is Kabelo, a personal mastery coach. And yes, when he comes along, we'll be going live on the concept identity and prosperity. No, I still believe that the concept of identity and prosperity, it's a cause-effect relationship. You cannot prosper or develop yourself without you knowing yourself. So for one to know him or herself, they first need to unleash what's inside of them. So that's the topic for tonight. Let me just wait for him to request, because it'll be more of an interactive session than a monologue. So it's going to be more of a dialogue between him and I. Not a host guest type of thing, but a conversation where we'll be unpacking all the concepts that relate to identity. So let me just wait for the guy. Please bear with me. So yeah, as we're waiting for this guy, let me just make this education. I've seen, and it's been so troubling that cases people seek for the results, the fruits, but they don't take time to find that seed. So you can never seek for success, you can never seek for results without you having that seed inside you. So for you to bear the success and the wealth and the happiness, you need to find something within you, something inside of you, the seed. So you cannot just say I'm seeking wealth or I'm seeking money, but then you need to also make it a thing that you need to seek something inside of you, that seed. That seed is going to bear fruit, is going to bear results. So you cannot just say I'm seeking for success, I'm chasing the bag, I'm chasing the money, because those are byproducts of you serving people. So you should ask yourself questions like, how can I just serve? What is it that I can just offer people, and in return they'll give me the rewards? So if you take care of people, they'll take care of your financial problems. Here's the guy, and let me just approve. Speak about that. He's he's on the live in a moment. It's going to be more of a conversation. Hello, champ.
Hello, mate. Hello, champ.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I'm glad you have arrived. Eh?
Yeah, this tech stuff, it has its own pros and cons.
You know,
Yeah,
the good part of the good part of things is that the beautiful part of humans is that we're so good at adapting. So unlike animals, in any situation that we are at, we can just navigate through it. So even in this pandemic where we are forced to do this kind of conversations, we should just find a way to navigate
yeah,
through them. So let us just equip ourselves with this new technology and not blame what it used to be in the past of us having physical interaction. So let's make peace with it and let's adapt, because we are humans and not animals, just like other animals per se. So yeah, how was your day,
absolutely,
man?
absolutely. I agree with you. My day was very productive, effective as always. Living by highest values, doing what's most important, and being fulfilled in the process. So it was
Yeah,
a great day that, just, yeah, fulfilling. And yours?
uh, my day was a productive one. I
Yeah,
was busy with the tutoring side, the side hustle. As I said, that's more of a passion, but I take time for it, you know. So I've been busy with the tutoring, the one-on-one sessions, and all the revisions. And yes, if it's a calling, it'll keep calling. So the calling, it keeps calling. So I'm doing it even now. So you
yeah,
spoke about having a productive and a fruitful day and you are a teacher, we had this conversation with this gentleman of mine to say that if it's a calling, is it possible to be a work or should it be something apart from the work? Because people have this conception to say if it's a life purpose, it's more of an entrepreneurship. But then it can be a 9 to 5 job with it being a calling, because I know you have so much enthusiasm for teaching. Can you just,
Yeah.
enlighten us about how it's still possible to have a 9 to 5 job and it's still a calling?
Absolutely, absolutely. Work, I think there are two parts to view it. You know, there are colleagues that I work with who will drag Mondays, Wednesday, Tuesdays, and they can't wait for Fridays. Like, thank God it Fridays, Friday songs.
True, true,
So
true.
those are the kind of people that have not really found their purpose and they are going through the motions in terms of the traditional systems of coming from varsity, going to a job or a workplace, and working 9 to 5, getting a salary and saving for retirement. But then
Yeah, yeah.
people who find their purpose, every day is a vacation. You don't wait for a vacation or a sick leave or, you know, your vocation, your calling, your vocation is your vacation. So you wake up
Yeah.
to a vocation that is already your vacation. So you even cannot wait to wake up the next day. That is how you know that what you're doing every day is in line with your soul. And that is how I feel about education, about personal mastery. I cannot wait to wake up the next day. So I try to push work until it's 12 midnight at night. And, time is just disappearing in my mind to say, okay, what's happening? Because I'm always busy with something
Mm,
in line with education or in line with coaching, one of the two, or creating content. So when you are working and you are waiting for vacations,
yeah.
for weekends, you're waiting for a pay rise, you're waiting for, you want to take leave, and your job is a burden, then you know that,
Mm,
you are not in the right place. You don't see how you align with your responsibilities at work, or how do they fulfill you as a person in terms of what is truly meaningful and important to you. So as I said,
yeah.
it's about getting your vocation and being connected to that vocation so that your vocation, your calling becomes your vacation every time that you wake up. And you are looking forward to that because you are not the type that, you know, you're waiting for December or you're waiting for, schools to close or work to close so that you can have a break. Every day
Mm,
is fun. Every day is productive. Every day is interesting. It comes with new beginnings and new experiences, and you look forward to them and to grow. So basically, that's the perception that I have in terms of what's happening right now in the workplace situation. That, people who come into the workplace but with an unidentified purpose. And then you have another group of people who come with already a purpose that they are connected with, and therefore they can serve more, they can be more, and they add more value into the workplace.
mm. I love it. I love it. And it goes back to say that even with the trainings and the conferences that will be, offered to the profession that you are in most cases, it was a case that they will just offer rewards and incentive to say that if you attend this training, you'll get certain points, you'll get certain benefits. But then if
Yeah.
it's something that it has an intrinsic drive within you, you would not need any incentives or drive to do it. And it's a case that um, I've always been curious, and I think it's the perfect time to tackle this. With my
Yeah.
side, I only pursued the profession of being an accountant because I always had this perception that accountants, and well, it has a certain social status, but then not knowing that if I go further into it, I didn't enjoy handling accounts, but I enjoyed so much teaching and tutoring. So it was a case that I did not know myself by then, but I later discovered what was truly inside of me. So, with you being a teacher, was it the case that you always knew what you wanted to do, or it was a case that you just discovered it later on? Because in most cases, we just go from one profession and we take a paradigm shift to shift from one profession to another.
Yeah. For you to discover your purpose, it can be that you grow up with it and you grow into it, or something profound
Yeah,
happens and it
yeah,
leads you in the direction of your purpose. So in my case, I did not start off in education. I was in the engineering field, doing chemical engineering. So what happened is that, I was passionate about that because maths and science are my areas of specialty, and
yeah.
I,
That I
was doing that, and I was even a tutor at varsity. So doing engineering at the same time, I was a tutor, working with lecturers, which is something that I was doing back in high school, but never really connected with that, it's something that has more meaning. I just took it as, okay,
yeah.
I'm just helping my classmates. But there was a point in time by in my second year of my studies, I, you know, sat down and truly inquired and did an introspection to say, as much as I'm in love with maths and science numbers and I'm passing, what is truly most important in my life? What will make me happy? And when I wake up, go for that job or go to work, will it be truly fulfilling to design, factories and be an engineer and, things
Yeah,
like that? But and I compared what my life was demonstrated then and in terms of what was happening then and what I wanted it to be or what it should be. And I found that I was more fulfilled each time that I helped someone academically, each time that I made a difference in someone else's life.
mm,
And it's more of how it feels internally,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So I spoke about that even last week, that your soul will confirm that through your emotions when you do that activity, that to say
Yeah, yeah,
that is where you should be. That is where you must be. So no one can tell you what your purpose is. Your soul can only confirm through the feedback that it gives you through your feelings and emotions. So that's what I
mm,
got. And I monitored myself, through different days and weeks and just check the progress in terms of, do I have this feeling consistently or was it a once off? But it happened that it was consistent. Each time that I was teaching, I never wanted to leave, you understand, and go to my lectures. And, it
yeah.
was that kind of thing. And I looked forward to it. And the time just disappeared in my mind because when you are in your purpose, time and space and linear thinking disappears. You are in a state of bliss. There's no time, there's no space.
I
So
can
that
relate.
is what's happening. Yeah, you can relate. Yeah, so that's what happened, and I truly consider to say there's money in engineering. I do appreciate that. I do get that, but money comes and goes. It's energy. It's spiritual. So, and there are different means and ways to get money. It was not only about money. It's about the fulfillment and whether I'll be happy, I'll be at peace with what I'll be doing for many years to come in my life or decades. So then I make a conscious choice to then transfer from engineering to education, of which I am now in education fully and permanently.
I like the
Yeah,
fact that you took a courageous decision, eh? Even considering the fact that when you weigh the options between the remuneration packages, you still took the journey and took the route. And you touched on feelings. The feeling that I got when I got on stage on my graduation was not the same when I got that invitation, that let her know to say that you are my inspiration. And after the words that you have spoken, promise to be a better person. When I read
yeah,
the letter, it gave me a certain feeling that I felt like I wanted to hear more of this. I wanted to read more of this. Hearing people just walking by to say you have transformed my life. After what you said, it really meant a lot to me. When you outweigh the options between having such fulfillment and getting such a remuneration, it's not the same. And people will just think that, how would you just make a drastic change on that? They wouldn't understand because they
absolutely.
would say that this has probably a certain high status rank in society. How would you just pursue an undergrad of education, whereas engineering has a more social rank? So in a case that when you pursue such decisions and courageous decisions, you then tend to disappoint people to say, how would you even do such a decision? But then they wouldn't know inside of you. Hence, it's very important that with a purpose, it does not seek external validation, irrespective of even the close people around you. It's going to be a case that if you want to pursue it, you must be willing to disappoint people that you even prefer to disappoint. But then it's part of the process, because it's something that your inner voice, the voice inside of you, the soft voice inside of you, it can be so louder than the loud opinions of society. But then that intrinsic drive to
Absolutely.
say, this is what I truly want inside of me, this is what I truly want to serve in society, this is what I truly want to be remembered for. I'd ask people a question like, if 5 years from now to live life, what is that one article that you would like to read about yourself on Wikipedia? What would be you doing in society? What we have done in the world? Would it be something that you're doing now, or does it be something different?
Absolutely. And on that note of the external world being against you, now I want you
Yeah,
to just imagine this for a moment. The
yeah.
world against you, or your own soul being against you. Which one is hitting home?
Mm. What is the whole point of winning the world but losing yourself in the process?
That's the point, right? I'd rather have the world being against me
Yeah,
than my own soul. Because if you are in conflict with your own soul, I'm telling you, you won't sleep at night. You'll be a frustrated person. There's nothing you'll enjoy in life.
yeah.
What we'll see is a facade every day. You pretend, but when you come back behind the scenes, you are a miserable person. And
Mm.
that is not being authentic, right? So you are here to let this light in you to shine, not to hide it. So when you are hiding it by putting on an identity that is not you, you are now going against the current. You are
Yeah,
now going against the flow of nature. And therefore, the feedback you'll get naturally is frustration, is anger, is misery, is depression, because you are not authentic. You are not
yeah, yeah.
living the, the being that you should be.
Ah, you
Yeah,
spoke about you spoke about depression, and I think we should highlight on that to say, in everywhere in life there are challenges. It's a matter of you choosing what type of challenges are you willing to pursue. Because I, for one, um, a part of what I do is that I usually interact and I usually do team building activities whereby you need to engage with learners, a large group of people, probably 205
absolutely.
learners in matriculants. You'll just engage with on team building activities. It's so stressing, but
Yeah,
then those are the part of challenges that I'm willing to undertake. Those are the type of challenges that I love doing, because people have this misconception to say, I want to move from one profession to another to avoid challenges. But then the whole point of life is not to avoid challenges, but then to choose. How am I willing to suffer? What kind of suffering am I willing to endure?
absolutely.
What are those type of challenges that I'm willing to undertake? Not to say that I want to live a life that is free of challenges, because challenges are everywhere. So now, from my side, I chose challenges that deal with interacting with people. Those are the type of challenge that I'm willing to undertake. Interacting with people, apply my emotional intelligence in every situation. Not to say that I moved away from a 9 to 5 job to say I want to avoid challenges. There's still challenges in entrepreneurship. There's still challenges in that field. So even in career, there are challenges from your supervisor, being hard on you. Even on entrepreneurship, there are coaches being hard on you. So it's a matter of saying that, what are the challenges that are you willing to undertake? What are the challenges that are most fulfilling? It's like a boy playing a video game. Challenges of losing the game and going back to the next one. It's more fulfilling. So even from my side,
Yeah,
the challenges of going to a sales speech and getting it wrong and getting back again, doing a speech and getting, it's one thing that I've chosen to undertake. So challenges are everywhere. It's a matter of depression. It's a matter of you choosing between eustress and distress. Eustress is more of challenges that give you life, but distress is more of challenges that are more of a burden. When you're given this task in the job, you feel like it's more of a burden, but then a certain time you'll see like, Kagiso, you need to do like 7 live videos in a week. I'm willing to do that. It's a challenge. But then for somebody else, it might be overwhelming. So it's a part of to say that people should avoid this misconception to say, I want to move from a 9 to 5 job to have less challenges. Challenges are everywhere. What are the challenges that are you willing to undertake? So that's the whole case of challenges, because that's the whole life that we have a misconception of, to say we want to live a life of happiness, but then we need to undergo both sides. In cases like this of the pandemic, it's so we can unleash the creativity inside of us. We can unleash the power, the potential inside of us. And in happiness, we cannot just have happiness all the time, because we can never grow, we can never unleash the creativity without the stressing this pandemic. So it's a part of to say that even in business there will be support and challenge, and embrace that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Champ. I mean, you are spot on to say that there are challenges everywhere. Life
Yeah.
is not one-sided. Life is
Mm.
not one-sided. So if you are in a delusion of thinking that you're always gonna be happy and supported and will feel satisfied,
Yeah.
then there's an illusion, because life will attract, or you will attract, circumstances that will draw you back to your center, the opposite of what you want. And that is the nature of life, because it is dual. We have pleasure and pain, happiness and grief. We laugh, we cry, support and challenge. So those
Ah,
are circumstances of nature and life. We cannot avoid them, ignore them, or suspend them. They are there. So
true.
to try and avoid one side of a life, it's totally shooting yourself in the foot. It's impossible. You
True.
cannot do that. And that's why even in relationships, you have a fantasy about this person that you will always be happy. It's a happy ever after
Yeah.
kind of thing. They'll never disappoint you. They'll never challenge you. They'll never be angry. Then you get
Exactly.
that, and then you are drawn back into reality, because you are living in an illusion in your mind, in a fantasy, because you are thinking this person is like this, and therefore you have these fantasies that you stack up against them. So nature will always try to
Yeah.
equilibrate us, to center us in terms of, let us be authentic and appreciate both sides of life. And I love how Dr. DiMartini expresses love. He says that love is the simultaneous appreciation of synchronized complementary opposites of nature. So it means both sides of nature, they are synchronized. You cannot partition it. They are there.
Yeah.
And if you appreciate both sides of nature, both sides of life within yourself and in others, that is true love. Because love does not have conditions. And he's saying that unconditional love comes from the word soul. Soul stands for state of unconditional love. So we can never be truly happy
Yeah.
if we are one-sided, whether with ourselves or at work or in our relationships or even in business, that I'll always make money and never lose money. It doesn't work like that. So it's a dual process that is everywhere. It's a universal law. In the universe, disorder and order happens on a daily basis. A reaction that creates and destroys happens on a daily basis. Even in our bodies right now, reactions for building up and destroying are happening. So we can never be free of challenge and destruction and chaos. It's good only if we accept it as what it is
Part
and
of
use
life.
it effectively. Absolutely. So that's appreciating challenges, because the only people who don't have problems are dead. They are in the graveyard. So if you don't want to
Yeah.
have problems and challenges, then that is the place to go. Right. So
I love it. And it was the case that we lost so many friendships. People just say that, I'm cutting people off because these people are seem to be negative. These people are seem to be challenging me. You always need to have those kind of praise from people, and it's so wrong to say you can never grow in praise, you can never grow in support. But the moment people challenge you and you just take a deep analysis on it, you'll just even tend to consider to say that I've actually been doing this thing all wrong, but then I got someone to show me that light because we in a case feel like I'm all about good vibes, I'm all about positive energy, I don't want
Yeah.
negative people. But then inside every criticism, there's always some truth in it. It's a matter of us analyzing critics so much because even in failure, it's the only time that we can just retrospect in ourselves. It's only time through failure that we can get feedback. But then people have this conception to say, I'm not about attending people who are criticizing me. They're scared of that criticism, they're scared of that failure. Not knowing that with praise, you become so cocky and you become a way that you tend to ignore your higher priorities and go back to your lower priorities. Imagine if I were to say I'm Coach Kagiso and everyone is all about praising me. I'll just feel like I've just done so much in life and I'll just go back to the
Absolutely.
lower priorities, to maybe partying and all that because I feel that I've made it in life. But then when I come back to a failure, I then retrospect. What is that I've been doing wrong all this while? I then make an introspection. When I get criticism, I then introspect within me. What is it that they might have a point on? But then people have this concept to say, I'm not about bad vibes. They're cutting people off. They're cutting people off. They only want people who praise them, people who support them. But then
Which
you
is
cannot
fantasy.
grow without that criticism. So it's a case that
Mm.
we need to have that kind of criticism because we are not here to be told what we want to hear, but what we must hear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, if you are you got or you get angry whenever somebody criticizes you, do you know what that means?
Yeah,
It means you told yourself that I know everything, no one will tell me anything. So anger is a subconscious feedback to you to say you're not being authentic, you're not being real with yourself, right?
mm,
So there is tension with you to say, okay, I think I should be this, but I'm not that. Because you don't know everything. No one will ever know everything. It's impossible, right?
exactly,
So
exactly.
criticism is there to build you, as you're saying. You get
Yeah,
criticized, and it is said that a leopard does not see its own spots. Your best judges are your audience. So it is never you. So if you want to grow, don't even wait. Don't even wait for criticism. Invite it. Go and ask your audience, how was my talk? Or how was my presentation? What points can I improve on? You are inviting criticism. You do not wait for it to come to you, right? Because when you
true,
start
true.
being in the habit of inviting criticism, it becomes second nature that, you know what, this is who I am, this is how I roll. I need criticism to grow because people have different perceptions about the same thing. So
Mm,
approach the people that you present to and ask them, how did they see this presentation? How did they see this coaching? Or how did they experience it? How different do they want it to be maybe in the future? And that is how you can accelerate your growth. And because doing
true,
that,
true,
it,
true.
it, it gives you a moment of reflection, right? And one question that I always ask myself every single day, how can I improve on everything that I did today, tomorrow? And I make sure that tomorrow I do those points of improvement. Because you you cannot
Yeah,
afford to live today like you lived yesterday. It's a total mess. You are wasting today, right? So you want to always reflect after the end of everything, at the end of the day, what are the things that I can improve on? Because we are living in the world of efficiency and
yeah,
being effective. You must save time, money, and energy. That is systems. So if you cannot do that, you're going to be an expense to a company. You're going to be an expense to yourself. and you're gonna be wasting money, time, and energy. So you need to be able to get to a point whereby you are in the habit of reflecting on your actions on a daily basis. And that's what I do daily. And that is how I'm able to pick up points and I self criticize. I don't wait for people to criticize me. I self criticize, and it obviously takes a level of honesty with yourself to do that because naturally we are biased, right, to the good sides of ourselves and not the bad. So
Yeah, yeah,
you look
every
yourself in
time.
the mirror and look at both sides of who you are and appreciate them as they are right now, right? Because awareness precedes acceptance and acceptance precedes change. You cannot change something you're not aware of or you have not accepted that it's there.
Mm.
So self-criticism and reflection are two powerful tools that I can leave here as wins for our audience tonight to say, if you do that on a daily basis, talk to me after 30 days and tell me how your life is.
You touched on it, and hey, I felt it so much. You touch on the concept of self-love. It's a case that what is the whole point of loving ourselves if we cannot just love ourselves with our flaws and embrace them
Yeah.
and continuously work on them? So it's a case that in most cases it even made people to come out to have this fear to say I cannot even bring out my honest opinion to say friend,
Yeah.
you are now losing it because you might be afraid to say I might lose this friendship because you have this misconception to say if you were to tell your honest truth it will be same as hate. When you just speak the truth it come across as hate and you just keep so uh, away from the comments and the opinions. A typical example, if let's say someone was to show you that to say I want to open this company and I'm having this logo in mind, but when you say that this is not a good logo, they feel that you're hating, you're a hater. But then that's the truth of the nature. I don't love it. It's not good for the audience. You will not attract people. You cannot do marketing without branding. So it's not good for branding purposes. But then the moment you utter such statements, they say you're a hater. Whenever that you tell your friend that this person is not good for you in a relationship, you come across as you hate him. But that's the whole point of how society is to say we cannot come across on speaking truth because it seems as if it's hate. And it's a case that we have just normalized, keeping truth from ourselves because they see you as a hater. But then the moment you come into the business world, you then have coaches. Coaches are the people that will tell you things how they are. If you are not doing things the way they should be, they'll tell you the way it is. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. Because it's a case that in fact emotional intelligence we tend to say that I'm losing relationships and it's okay, I don't even
Absolutely.
beg them, I don't
Yeah.
even want them in my life. You then prefer a case where people don't challenge you, but then it's a case that we can never grow with that challenge. Hence people will have this misconception to say I only want good vibes in my circle, positive energy. And when you see something wrong you're then scared to speak about it because it's going to maybe distance them from you because they will have this misconception to say you are a hater, whereas you're just speaking your truth.
Now, what others say about you has no effect on you until you accept what they say about you.
Mm.
What others say about you has no effect on you until you accept what others say about you. I can hear a million things in one day from all directions, but what I
Yeah,
accept as true will affect me emotionally and on a personal level,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
But then you cannot be in a position whereby just because you spoke the truth and somebody said you're a hater, you take it and you become, downhearted and angry. That is a lack of emotional intelligence, right? Yes,
Yeah,
we know that in terms of history, those who tell the truth are hated upon, they are ridiculed. they are accused of,
Yeah.
wrongdoing, or they are bringing false teachings or doctrine into society.
True. True. True.
But if you look at what's happening, is that truth always starts like that. You must be hated, first of all, when you start speaking truth. You must be
Yeah.
ridiculed up until your truth becomes self-evident. That, oh, when that person reflects on his own somewhere, maybe later on without you, then they will see that, oh, you were telling them the truth. Just that they were,
Exactly.
they have too much ego to accept that criticism or the truth
Mm.
that you offered on that occasion. You understand? So it's never about you. The most important voice in your life is your own voice. It is what you say about you that will
Yeah.
either destroy or make you. Right? The external voices are there and they will always be there. And you do not want to live from the outside in, you want to live from the inside out. Be in charge of your life.
Mm.
You want
Mm.
to take responsibility of what's happening. So the state of being inside must control your experiences outside. And it is basically what's happening. Science has proven that we are a vibration.
Exactly.
Your vibrations that you send out is what you get back. So don't make the mistake of living your life by default from the outside in. That is living your life by default. You design your life that this is what I want every day, every
Yeah.
week, every month, every year. You craft your life because the phone that you're carrying right now in your hand, somebody designed it. He sat down and said, I want this phone to be like this. Why can't you design your life?
You know, you touched on a point. Eh? We speak about a to do list, but we never speak about a have to be list. You know, I don't see any point of living life where you don't have any end goal, because the whole point is just to say you're gonna wake up, live the day, come back, sleep, live the day, come back, sleep, and that's not the point of life. You know, a week should be so fulfilling rather. A year should be so fulfilling, but when you don't have an end goal to something, it's so hard on you to say, let me just live my life with enthusiasm, because you don't even know what is it that I want to achieve in life. So it goes back to say mission statement. You know, you can never just say, I'm just living life without a mission statement. You should ask yourself, or what is my why question in this place? What is it that I want
Absolutely.
to achieve or fulfill in this place? But then if you don't have the end goal, you'll just wake up and go back to sleep, because you don't have any vision. You don't even know what is it that I want to do for this year. What is my target? Even in the
Yeah,
workplace, if it's a case that you go to a workplace that is seen more of a job than a career, because with the career you can just elevate from it, you can just move from one company to another, you can just navigate your skills, you can just go the extra mile. But with the job, it's you doing the task and going back. Now you cannot just live life in that way, to say I'm just living the day and coming back to sleep, because the whole point of life is just to see the end goal. When you see the end goal, you live the current moment with so much fire and enthusiasm inside of you. But then, if you don't even see the end goal, just walk. You don't even know where are you walking to. Just walking. Anything that comes goes. Even in school, if you don't have such targets for your metric, any result that comes, it's good for you, because you
yeah,
never set a target for yourself. You should know that if I were to
absolutely.
do my metric, I need to know that for this year, I need to accomplish this target. You're working on something, even in life. You should tell yourself that, to say, if I wake up in the morning, I need to fill it with the higher priority action that are taking me closer to where I want to be. But then if you just live the day and come back, what is the whole point of life? What is the whole meaning of life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, champ. Because if you do not know what you want, anything that comes along will be what you want. If
Yeah,
you don't know
true,
what you
true.
want, anything that comes along will be what you want. So you will scatter your forces and leak your energy and wonder why your life is not working out.
Yeah,
So it's about direction. And when I coach, I'm not interested in your goal until I find out who you are. Because I it's self-defeating to pursue traditional goals that, you know what, I want that house, I want that car, I want that bank account to be having so many zeros.
Yeah.
Those can, as we said in the beginning, they are byproducts, right? A goal involves service, what it is you must do. And too often I see people, they focus on the goal, but if you look at the essence of the goal, it's not about the end result, it's about who you become through the pursuit of that goal. So it's,
True.
yeah, you do not get wealth, you become wealth. So if I don't have wealth consciousness here on a daily basis, let me not even fantasize and expect millions in my bank account. They will never be there. It's just a fantasy. A goal is there to build you so that you become something more than you are today. Now, whatever you reach there, so what you
Yeah.
reach will just be a confirmation of your growth that has taken place through the journey, right? So if you are not reaching your goals, it means you're not becoming the person that you should be in line with that goal.
Mm.
It's either you are having limiting beliefs, it's either you feel that the goal is too big for you, it's either you feel like you don't have the capacity to pursue that particular goal, or it's not within your means. So it's about who you become, the process. You enjoy the process, the journey, not the destination, right? The destination happens once, but the process is every day. So you want to enjoy every small step, every small progress that you make every day. Maybe it's building your own business, but you enjoy in building that business plan. Forget about the millions for a while. Just focus on who you become in terms of you are learning new business skills. Maybe you are getting into a new relationship. You are learning how to, you know, portray yourself emotionally and convey your emotions in an intelligent way so that you can be able to have, you know, peaceful conversations with your mate. So those kind of things are really misunderstood in our society
True.
because but not the becoming process. It's about who you become because that's growth. Growth are there goals are there to build you, to stretch you, right? If you're setting a simple goal, then there's no growth. You must set a challenging goal so that it stretches you, your mental capacities, your emotional capacities. It offers you stress so that you are able then to grow from that particular goal and be able to become that which you must become to achieve that goal. Yeah.
I love it. You're killing me. I'm enjoying this. It's
Yeah.
more like I'm the coachee in this case. Um, it's a case that also if you are in this state of being and you say that I'm having a 5-year plan to say I want to impact the world at large. I want to make this contribution in this world. Imagine from you impacting the world in a 5-year plan, what would you have done or what would you have become during the process when you just move away from the city, the province, the country, the
Yeah.
continent, all those continents in the world? Before you can get
Yeah.
to that destination of the world, imagine what you have turned out to be during that process. To say also with regards to a person to say that I want to pursue a PhD, imagine during the process from achieving those undergrads, what would be the kind of fulfillment that you have got before you even got to the end result? Now, people, it's a case that also what we touched on last week when we spoke about people are seeking so much the results, the trees, the fruits, but then they were never taking a time to nourish that fruit or
Plant
that
the seed.
that seed rather. So
Mm.
what is the whole point to say I'm chasing wealth, I'm chasing success, I'm chasing the money, but you have nothing to offer. You cannot just say. That's where the people become so vulnerable into scams, because they feel that they can just be promised money, but the money can never flow. The moment you serve, that's where you can deserve. What is that one thing that you
Absolutely.
can offer to this world, and they will reward you for that? Now, people have this misconception to say they're chasing the bag, but then they have nothing to offer. You cannot just say kickstart and say, I'm just pursuing wealth. But wealth, it's a byproduct. It's certain, it's there. Success is there. But then what is it that you can offer to this place? Because money is like a magnet. It follows where opportunities are. Whenever you have something available to offer, money will be flowing to you. There are people who are into, investing, equity deals. They are looking for opportunities. What is it that you can offer to them that they can finance those things? But then when you just say, I'm seeking money and wealth, from where? Because those are the trees, those are the results, those are the effects. But what is that one cause or that one seed that you can just nourish and expand to make an impact in this place?
Absolutely, champ. I go back to the fact that, I start with identity. Goals are part of later sessions that I have in coaching. It's never one of my first five, for example,
Yeah,
sessions that I coach with. So knowing your identity, because one of the powerful questions that you can ask in connection with goals is to say, why do I want to achieve this? Be true to yourself. And you want to be honest when you answer that question. Because many times you want to achieve a goal because of peer pressure. Your friend is driving, a Golf 7. So you want to work and make sure that you also drive a Golf 7. So your state in line with that goal is
yeah,
totally wrong. Even when challenges arise during your pursuit of that goal, you will easily give up
exactly.
because you do not have an emotional connection to the goal. You do not have a true, authentic why as to why do you want to achieve? What does it mean to you, this goal? So we don't want to be living traditionally and setting traditional goals just because society, they paint pictures for us to say, by 30 years, you must be here, by 40, you must be there, 50, you must be doing that and that. And it's a pity that we follow that paradigm and we follow that route and we lose ourselves in the process. Sometimes we don't even lose ourselves. We don't know ourselves. We are just living unconsciously by
Yeah,
default because we have never gotten to a point whereby we define and design our identity. So goals are extensions of who you are. Goals are extensions of who you are. If they are extensions of your family, your friends, of somebody else, they are not your goals. They are their goals. So you are responsible for first identifying who you are, extending who you are to your goals and what it is you want to achieve. So you are building your life, right? Because now, if I set a goal of what my parents want me to achieve, it is their goal, it is not my goal. And therefore, the motivation, the enthusiasm behind that will be minimized. When challenges come, I'll easily give up because I'm not connected on a spiritual level to that particular goal. So anything, anything in
yeah,
life that you want to pursue is an extension of you. You must come from a place of truth. You must come from a place of knowing. If you do not have that fundamental basis, right, you will start something, but you won't finish it. You know, You- that's why people, their lives, they feel like it's not working out because, they don't have this fundamental foundation to say, this is my identity. It's solid. It's concrete. It's strong. And I'm building from this place of truth, from the place of knowing. And if you do that, everything else, even in romantic relationships, they just become an extension of you. Even the partner that you attract, you will see that the conflict is there, but it's the kind of conflict that you can easily resolve because you are not pretending to be someone you're not. You are in a relationship whereby it's an extension of you according to what is truly meaningful in your life.
Ah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this, man. Let's wrap it up for the audience because yeah, you what are those last few words that we can just bless
Yeah, I
them
don't
with?
know. Do we have any questions regarding what we discussed tonight, or should we just?
I'm not seeing any questions. Yeah,
All
you
right.
can just wrap it up. Your last few
Okay.
words.
All right. So the theme of our weekly discussions is centered around identity and personal development, right? So those are two themes or sub-themes that are making our main theme because you develop your identity. That is personal development. First, find your identity, develop it, right? And through that development, you are designing your life. You are designing your future.
True, true.
You are the captain of your soul and the master of your destiny. But as I said earlier, anything that you want to work towards in life or achieve, make sure that it's an extension of you, not of your family, your friends, or somebody else, or a religious institution or culture. Not to say those things are not valid or are not helpful.
Yeah.
We inherit a lot of good things from our family, friends, and society at large, and religious institutions and culture. But be selective in the kind of things you accept as part of who you are and those that you reject. And you will know
Exactly.
that to the degree that you are clear with your purpose, you are clear with your identity. So start there, get that right, because people live through life decade after decade unconsciously living a pattern of their forefathers, people they've never even seen, but unconsciously they are living that pattern. So you need to get to a point whereby you change the narrative and say, this is the kind of life that I want to build for me and the generations that are to come after me. Be authentic, know your identity, know your purpose, and everything else is an extension of that.
I love it. I love it. What a nice way to close, man. What a nice way to close. Yeah, as we mentioned before, with regards to your purpose, it's something that seeks no external motivation or external validation, but it's inside you, an intrinsic drive. You're not in this place to work from an external motivation, but a personal inspiration, an intrinsic drive. You know, People just say, motivate me to study, but we cannot do that. What is that one thing
Yeah,
that you spontaneously love doing? That's the whole point of
yeah,
life, to work from an intrinsic drive, and it's okay to disappoint
absolutely.
others because it's within you. We are spiritual beings with a human experience. That's the whole point of life. Live a life of legacy and live this place with memories and no regrets because we are here
Yeah.
for a little while. So yes, let me just
Wow.
save this thing for you, mate, because yeah,
Thank you, Chem. Thank you for the invitation again and for sharing this nuggets of wisdom all the time. It's
yeah,
always a
we'll have
great
one also on Thursday.
opportunity to engage. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome.